A new live watercolor tutorial. Today we'll be painting a cat, my cat Leo. I'm so excited. So let's get started. I'm going to set up my camera. Hi everyone, if you're watching live, feel free to say hi in the chat. Okay, hi. So you can find this outline here of my cat Leo in the description of the video, and there's also a reference photo. So this is what the reference photo looks like. Oops. So yeah, hi. So we have Laura, Sarah's here, Joyce, Sydney, Bia, Ashton, Heidi, Hannah. It's Lynn's life. What is your name? Is it Lynn? Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to go over the supplies that I plan on using. So of course I have my Arches cold press watercolor paper, and for my brushes I plan on using the size 8 round brush, size 4 round brush, and size 2 round brush, and these are the silver black velvet brushes. And I might use the size 0 round brush from Princeton Neptune, and I also have this Filbert grainer brush here that I might use. Liz says, hi, I'm painting Leo. Yay! Who else plans on painting Leo? You can also paint your own cat and kind of follow the same techniques that I am doing for your own cat. Okay, and then the paints that I plan on using are, I have yellow ochre here. This is from Schminke, but I think in the description I linked yellow ochre from Winsor Newton. I also have that in Winsor Newton, and I have Naples Yellow Deep from Winsor Newton, and Goethite from Daniel Smith, and I have Burnt Umber, Payne's Gray, both from Daniel Smith, and I have Chinese White from Winsor Newton, and I have this black from Winsor Newton. Actually, it's called Ivory Black. And then I have like this shimmer copper color from KMS watercolor that I might use. So basically I have some like light browns and then dark brown and black and white. Okay, yeah, let's get started. Hi. Bia says Leo is so cute and derpy. That's funny. Okay, so I like to first start with eyes. So I'm going to start with his eyes, and then we'll go from there. And I'm going to start with, I think, this size 2 round brush. And I will use this size 4 round brush to blend. So I'll be working with two brushes at once. Hi, Kizzy. She says, just a quick hello and bye. I can't stay, unfortunately, but have fun painting, Allison. Bye. Bye, Kizzy. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Hi, Fallon. Okay, so first we need to mix some colors. His eyes are kind of like a blue-green, and I realized that I did not find like a green. So I think I have like, let's see. I have this transparent green gold from Schminke, so maybe I'll use that. So yeah, I'll just put this here. Okay. So I'm going to first mix his eye color. So I'm going to take some of this like greenish gold, which is a lot like his eye, the color of his eyes. So I'm going to put some of this on my palette. And then I'm going to mix a little bit of brown in it. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna start with this color. Okay. Sarah says my camera is not in focus. Oh, okay. Is it okay, guys? Does it look okay? All right. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to start with the iris, which is like the colored part of his eye. So I'm going to start with this eye here and paint this in. And I want to start light. So I don't want this to be dark because I probably will do another layer of color. Okay. I'm kind of nervous to paint him. I've never painted a cat before. This is my very first time. So yeah, I'm kind of nervous. So if I'm not like really chatty during this tutorial, that's why. Yeah, I'm just filling in his iris here. And then I will probably add a bit more like colors to his iris when this dries, just to give him more depth, because when you look at his eye, there's a lot of color, like different kinds of browns, a little bit more like green colors, and yeah, okay. Okay, it looks like you guys say it's okay, like the video's okay. All right, that's good. Okay, now I'm going to do his other eye. Have any of you painted a cat before? Let me know. And have any of you painted your own pet? I've been wanting to paint Leo for like the longest time. And finally I am. And I'm thinking that not during this live video, but I'm thinking soon, like later on this month, I will add like some like florals around him in this painting. That's kind of my idea. Like maybe some flowers, maybe some mushrooms, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so there's that eye. Bia says, I have sketched a cat but never painted one. And Sarah says, never painted a cat before. Okay, so next, this eye is basically dry. Okay, so I'm going to add a bit more color to it. This time, I'm going to take one of my favorite greens. Okay, so I have to go find it. I'll be back in like a few seconds. Okay. So I'm going to take this green here. This is called Serpentine Green. It's one of my most favorite greens. And I'm going to use a little bit of this green. And yeah, okay. So let's mix a few different more colors. I like to spend a lot of time on the eyes because I feel like the eyes are really important with pet portraits or like any kind of portrait. or animal. I feel like the eyes are like the focus, so I want his eyes to look really, like really nice and detailed. So I'm kind of like mixing the serpentine green into a little bit of this transparent green gold. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little bit of green over here in the corner of his eye, like that. And then I'm gonna take this other brush I have, it has a little bit of water in it, and I'm just gonna kind of blend this green into the other color. And I'm gonna add a little bit over here. And yeah, just, I don't want like all of his eye to look green, so I'm only adding this in a few areas. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this eye. It's funny because Leo, his eye color has changed a lot. When he was a kitten, his eyes were like a gray blue, and then a few years later, his eyes turned like a very light brown, kind of like the same color as his fur. And then now his eyes are like a little bit more green. It's really interesting. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of green over here. Okay. Laura says, I want to paint a cat as a Christmas gift, but haven't painted a cat before, and now I'm trying to do so since yesterday, and it always looks like kindergarten painting. And then she says, I choose a black cat with mostly just eyes visible. Guess I started a bit too difficult. Yeah, I feel like black would be kind of, yeah, more challenging to do. And Liz says, many cats, pet portraits and acrylic on rocks. This is the first in watercolor. And then Bia says, my mom saw an adorable cat yesterday, and his eyes are very unique. One is blue and one is yellow. It's really cute. His fur is very white. Aww. And then she says, has Leo misbehaved ever, or is he just chilling? He misbehaves all the time. All the time. Okay. Okay, so let me get another color here. I'm gonna add a little bit of gold to his eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna add, because I like glittery paint, I'm gonna add a little bit of this gold. Okay, so this is from KMS Watercolor, just so you guys know. I do have a coupon code for 10% off your order for you guys. I think it's in the description of this video, but yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit of this gold over here. Usually I don't add details like this stage of the painting, but I just kind of want to get his eyes mostly done. Okay. I mean, I probably will add more to his eyes later on, but yeah, okay. All right, so that's good for now. Let's move on to his pupil, like the black area. Sarah says, I have 2 cats. What are their names? Yeah, who here has a pet cat? And what are their names? Leo is my only cat. If I could, I would have more, but Jimmy won't allow it. Okay, So for the black of his eyes, I'm going to use Payne's Gray from Daniel Smith. So right now, I'm just kind of adding this Payne's Gray to my palette. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I do want this to be dark. I mean, we can start light though, because we can go ahead and paint with a light shade of this, and it will be kind of like the highlight of his eye. And then when that dries, we can paint in the like the rest of the dark areas. Okay, so I'm just gonna fill this in. So yeah, I'm using a lot of water. I mixed a lot of water into the Payne's Gray. Okay. Right. Yeah, I'm really trying not to paint into the iris. Yeah, so I'm like concentrating. Okay, and then I'm cleaning my brush, and I'm going to kind of wipe a little bit of this away, like right here. I mean, you can't, I guess it's not really doing much, but there's a chance when I'm done with this painting that I will go in and add like a little speck of white gouache in his eye to make the highlight stand out a bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. I took this photo yesterday morning. I was drinking my coffee and he was sitting on my lap, and he was looking at me so cute, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to take a picture, and I feel like this will be really like a really nice picture for the tutorial. So yeah. Okay. Sarah says her cat's names are Tessie and Jess. Cute. Bea says, how old is Leo? He is 7. Laura says, I have 2 cats, Nanook and Marty. I hope I said that right. Nanook? That's a cute name. Fallon says, I have 1 and my sister has 1. Mine's name, wow, can't talk. Mine's name is Oakley, and my sister's is Yuki. Cute. Oh, and then she says, I was going to say Oakley is really chubby and lazy, and I'm pretty sure Yuki is plotting world domination. Probably. Okay, I'm going to take more Payne's Gray, and this time I'm going to use far less water. So I'm just mixing enough water in my Payne's Gray to make it easy to paint with. Okay, this time we want to make sure to not paint where the highlight of his eye is. So I'm going to kind of draw in where the highlight is, and I did that in the outline, but now I can't really see my outline anymore. So yeah, so I'm going to now paint around that. Really trying to take my time. I don't want to mess up. Okay. Kind of messed up. All right. Oh no. Okay. I'm just gonna let that area dry. I don't want to like... I'm concentrating really hard right now, so that's why I'm not talking. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna take this other brush, kind of like fade out this up here and let it kind of make a gradient into this highlight. Okay. Oh, that was kind of stressful. So I will let this dry, and then I'm going, like when it's dry, I'm going to kind of fix his eye a little bit because I kind of messed up right there. Okay. Liz says, my cat is a gray tabby. She was born in my friend's barn. When I first saw her, she had an M on her forehead, so I call her the Divine Miss M, or Missy. So cute. Bia says, does Leo sleep on your lap? Yes, he does. A lot. He's pretty cuddly. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing to his other eye. And going to first kind of draw in where I see the highlight. So it's kind of like over here. Okay, and then paint around it very carefully. Okay. Now I'm going to use this other brush with a little bit of water in it, kind of blend into the highlight a little bit, because his highlights are kind of like, they're sharp down here, but at the top of the highlight it's kind of like a gradient. Kind of similar to this highlight. So I'm going to kind of make this highlight look a little bit more like the other one. Okay, I think that's fine for now. Okay. says, I have a black and white tuxedo cat, Maximus, or Max. He has a lot of attitude, but is getting way more cuddly in his old age. He's 13. He visits me in my studio all the time. Aww. Yeah, Leo has definitely been becoming more cuddly as he gets older. Like way more cuddly. He does have spurts of energy though, like a few times a day. And he like goes all crazy. Okay, with a little bit of water in this brush, I'm gonna kind of fix this area here. Plus, I mean, around the edges of his pupil, it does look a little like fuzzy, so, or like soft. So I'm gonna kind of, yeah, go around his pupils with a little bit of water in this brush and kind of like soften around his iris. Oh, there's one of Leo's hair on my brush. Okay, I'm gonna take some more Payne's Gray. I want to kind of round out up here a little bit. It just looks kind of not round. Then I'm going to fix a little bit over here. Okay. All right, that's good for now. Okay, let's move on. Bia says, my cat's name is Skylar, and he makes my heart when he makes a heart when he lays down like a little potato. That's so cute. Bia says, Leo looks like he's begging for food. I think he's saying, I'm hungry. Mom, give me food, please. Probably. Yes, he does that all the time. Okay. Now we're going to paint the area around his eyes. So again, I'm going to use my size 2 round brush here. And let's see, what color do we want? I think I want to mix kind of like a gray color, grayish color. So let's do that. So I'm going to take some of this Payne's Gray here, move some of it up, and then I'm going to take some of this Chinese white from Winsor & Newton. By the way, all of the supplies I'm using are linked below for you guys. Okay. And then I might mix a little bit of brown in here. So I'm going to take some of this brown over here, kind of mix that in. So it's like a gray brown color. Okay. So now this part here, he has a little bit of white. So I'm going to leave a little sliver unpainted. So I'm going to paint here right next to his iris. And then I'm going to paint on the other side of the white area. Like that. And I'm going to take this other brush with a little bit of water and kind of blend into the white. So it's kind of like a gradient. And that's pretty good for now. We'll add more color and detail when that dries. And then in the very corner of his eye, it's pretty dark, but I'm gonna go ahead and just paint with this color for now, and we'll make it darker later. Okay, and then let's do the same thing on the other eye. So, again, I'm going to paint right next to his iris. Okay, and then it looks like I didn't really draw this in, but yeah, so it's like this. And then I'm going to take this other brush with a little bit of water and blend. And then in this corner of his eye, he has a little bit of white. So again, I'm painting right next to his iris. And then like this. Ooh, okay. And then this other brush, I'm going to kind of blend. And then on this eye, he doesn't really have this area here because of the angle. How's it going, guys? Let's see, I'm reading some more of your comments. Sarah says, my cat Tess is tortoise shell, and Jess is a tabby cat. Tess is a good girl, and Jess is very mischievous. Hannah says, when Max was tiny, we called him Maximus Mayhem, like a villain in a superhero movie. That is so funny. I love your guys' stories about your cats. Tell me more. What are some of your like funny stories? Okay. Next, we're going to paint around the outside of his eyes. And the outside is a little, like the color is basically very similar to the color we were just painting with. But first, before we do that, I am going to go ahead and add some shadow in his eye. So let's do that first. I'm going to take some burnt umber. So I guess I should show you my palette. I'm going to take some burnt umber here. And we want to mix kind of like a dark brown. So I'm going to take some burnt umber and then a little bit of this Payne's Gray. Okay, and let's go ahead and first paint in the shadow in the very corner of his eye here. So the very corner here is dark. So now I'm painting that in. And I'm using this other brush to kind of spread around that paint, kind of blend a little bit. Move this color up over here. Okay, then I'm going to use this dark brown and paint the very edge of his eye. Okay, and I'm going to use this other brush now, my blending brush, with some water, and blend that a little bit into his iris. Not too much. You can always add more shadow later. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. Okay, so this corner of his eye here isn't, at least in the reference photo, it's not as dark, but it might still make it pretty dark. Okay. Then I'm going to paint at the top. And then blend with my blending brush. And I'm going to now paint in down here. Okay. And I'm going to paint down here. All right. So there's that. Now we're going to paint around his eyes with kind of like a light gray brown. So I'm gonna mix, I think I'm gonna use some of this goethite. So basically just mix the light brown. I'm gonna take some of this Chinese white, mix that in. And I kind of want to add a touch of pink. So I'm going to take, where's it at? Okay. I'm trying to grab a pink here from my paints. Okay, this is kind of like red. So I'm basically going to take a little bit of red here. Not too much. And mix that in. Okay, I might need a little bit more. Oh, that's okay, Bia. That's fine. She says my dad thinks my cat is a lion because he's scared of cats. So funny. Sarah says, Jess picks on Tess a lot. Tess only has 3 legs. Aww. That's so mean of Jess. Okay, so now I'm going to take this color we just mixed. Kind of like, it's like a grayish light brown with a hint of red in it. And now I'm going to paint around here. And before I do that, I'm gonna take my eraser and erase a little bit of this line. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna start at the edge here because I feel like it'll be the easiest to start. And it's a little dark. I'm gonna take this other brush with some water and kind of move around this paint. It's always best to just start light, and then you can always add dark, like a darker color later. Okay, now I'm going to apply more paint, but up here. And then I want the corner to kind of fade into the paper because that's just what it looks like on Leo, like in this area. It just kind of fades. And then I'm going to paint down here. Okay. Whew. Hannah says, Max is 13, my youngest child, Ellie is 20. They grew up together and I'm pretty sure that Max considers Ellie a little mate. He saves his most mischievous behavior for Ellie. They sneak attack each other. That is so funny. Aw. Hi, Jazzy Jazz. They say, I like the way the eyes pop. Thank you. Okay, so let's do this other eye. All right, so this eye here for this area, it's just like a little sliver. So it's not as thick looking just because of the angle of his head. And then it kind of becomes larger like this. Okay, so I'm gonna take my other brush here that I blend. Oh my gosh, there's cat hair. There's more cat hair in my brush. Leo was up here on my desk yesterday, so maybe he was like playing with my brushes and chewing on my plants in my window, which he likes to do. My poor plants. Okay, and I'm gonna add more paint up here in the corner of his eye. So if if you're new to my channel and my tutorials, I like to use two brushes. One to apply paint and the other to kind of blend the paint around and like move it around. That's just kind of how I like to paint. Okay, and it looks like this area kind of is a little kind of tricky. Okay. This corner here kind of blends out and fades into his face, like this. All right. Bia says, hey Allison, I kind of want to start oil painting, but the thing is I don't know what primary colors to get. That's exciting. Let's see. I mean, I would start, I would get like a brown, like burnt umber. I would get black and white. And then like red, yellow, blue, to start out with. Like the bare minimum colors. Okay, so let's take a quick break because we have an artist spotlight. Okay. So during these live videos, we have an artist spotlight, and today we'll be spotlighting Wendy. So if you want to be featured in one of my future live tutorials, then you can use the hashtag on Instagram, Allison Lyon Art Tutorial, and you may be featured. So right now I am looking up Wendy on Instagram, so that's what I'm doing right now. And she did my last tutorial, which was my dog tutorial. So last Friday we painted a dog together, and this is her dog. So yeah, very nice, Wendy. And then this is her profile. So yeah, she paints animals. So pretty. So if you wanted to support Wendy, I did link her Instagram below for you guys to check her out on there. And that's our artist spotlight. Yay. Yeah, Laura, so cute. Okay, let's continue painting Leo. Okay. Now I have to reset up my camera here, so forgive me if it's like shaking. All right. Okay. Liz says, Missy is the best mouser. It bothers my dog, so she makes sure to dispatch when he is watching. Cats are pretty cold-blooded. And then Liz says, got to go to work. I'll take my paints. Have a good day at work. Okay. Yeah, so let's continue painting Leo. So next, we're going to start painting the fur around his eyes and like kind of work our way out. I'm reading Liz's comment. Oh yeah. Yeah, those are good paints to start out with. Wow, I'm like having a really hard time talking today. I don't know what it is. Yeah, Hannah, I agree. Okay, so now we need to mix some colors that we see in his fur. So let's mix some colors. And so I'm going to start out with a very light color on him. So I'm going to take, let's see, I think I'm going to take some of this color, this yellow ochre. then I'm going to take some of this Chinese white, mix that in. And I want to mix maybe a little bit of this black, just a little smidgen into it. Just kind of make it a little bit more gray. And then I'm going to mix another color, kind of like a darker color down here. So now I'm going to take some of this goethite. And this is pretty good, I feel like. I mean, yeah, I think that's good. So I have just like 2 shades to start out with, like a very light creamy brown, and then this other brown that's a little bit darker. And I'm going to start with the size 4 round brush here. Well, actually, I think I'm going to use the size 2 and then use my size 4 to blend. Okay, bye Bia. Thanks for hanging out with us for a little while. Okay. White Iris Archive says, does Leo have any funny habits? One of my cats swings pictures on the wall and he wants attention. That is so cute. Leo, he, let me think. Yes, he does. I should think of a funny story, but he really loves like his little perch thing by the back door, and he looks out on it, and he can like sit up there all day long. It's really cute. And then yeah, he goes super crazy in the mornings and at night. Like we'll make these weird meow sounds and like run around and just be so crazy. And he yeah, he's just so crazy. Gosh, I want to think of more things. It's just hard to like paint and talk at the same time. Okay. So yeah, as I'm painting in his fur, I'm going like the same direction as his fur. And this area here is very light, like almost white. So I kind of don't want to paint too much there. Okay, and then he has some, I'm going to take some of this other brown here. He has some like a darker shade of brown. And go over here. Okay, and yeah, it kind of trails up. And then he has like a dark patch like right here. And okay, and then I'm going to move kind of over here now. He has kind of like a dark patch. What are some of your cat's favorite toys? Let me know. Leo is funny. Can anyone else relate? I get him like some really nice toys, and he like doesn't really play with them that much, but he'll play with like candy wrappers. Like if I make a ball out of like a Hershey Kisses wrapper, he'll go crazy. and crazy about boxes, like cardboard boxes. It's like, what? I get you these like really nice toys and you ignore them, and then but you'll play with like trash. Okay. And then he has let's see, it looks like this corner here is a little dark, like that. Then I'm going to kind of fade this out. Okay. And then he has like dark brown line here. But almost like right next to it, it's like very light. Okay, and then he has, yeah, like right under his eye here, it's very light, like almost white. So I'm gonna paint right under there. And as I paint his fur, I try my best to leave a little bit of white area too. And so, yeah, it just gives him more depth. Let's see. Laura says mine don't like any toys, just washi tape and any kind of cord. Yeah, Leo's favorite toy is like the string from Jimmy's sweatshirt. Like Jimmy took it out of his sweatshirt and it's his favorite toy. He goes nuts over it. Sarah says, hi Allison. Oh wow, you've done a great job on his eyes. I used to have a cat back in Australia called Sinatra. He had a brother called Frank. Yeah, that is so cute. I love that. I love that so much. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then on this corner of his eye, it's like the same dark spot over here is over here. Cindy says my cat's favorite toy was bottle lids instead of the fancy toys we got him. Yeah. Same with Leo. Isn't that funny? Cats are just so silly sometimes. Okay. Now in the middle of his head up here, he has like a faint line like this. And before I paint any more up there, I'm going to erase some of this pencil. Okay. And then, yeah, he has maybe a bit more lines. And again, as you can see, I'm just painting his fur in the same direction that it grows. It's really important when painting fur. And I'm also leaving a little bit of white. That's also important. says, Max won't play with cat toys either. His favorite is curling ribbon and crinkly wrappers. Yep, that about sums it up for Leo too. Hannah says, does Jimmy watch your videos? I'm assuming that he is encouraging to you because to have your own business, it seems that having his support would be a must. Yeah, he does encourage me a lot. I don't know if he like watches my videos. I know he has in the past, but yeah, I don't know if he like actually watches them. I don't think he does. But yeah, he's very supportive. Okay, I want to erase a little bit of this pencil. Okay. And, okay, I'm gonna start working on his ears a little bit. So in this area, it's pretty dark. So I'm just applying some paint here, like that, and then taking this blending brush, blending it into his head a little bit, like this, and then up. And then his fur and his ear kind of is like, starts to become white. So now I'm just kind of, yeah. Then, let's see, I'm going to paint up here. By the way, guys, in case you don't know, I am doing an Instagram giveaway. And it actually is ending right after this live video. Like, right after I'm done with this live video, I'm going to close the comments on it. So if you haven't entered yet, go to my Instagram and be sure to enter before this live video ends. Okay, so he has some lines. Okay, wait. I kind of messed up. I'm fading this out up here, and then this area is supposed to be lighter. It's okay. All right, that's okay. And then this area in his ear starts to become a little pinkish and purple, so we'll work on that later. Then he has some very light fur. Okay. Now let's work more on this ear. Actually, wait, I changed my mind. Let's paint in the edge of this ear. I know in the reference, his ear right here is kind of like white, but I want to help him stand out a little bit on the paper, so. Okay. So far, I'm really liking how this is turning out. Do you guys have any ideas or any suggestions on what you want next Friday's live tutorial to be? Is there anything you want me to paint that's like nature related? And then the next Friday is Christmas, so in 2 weeks it will be Christmas, so I won't be doing a tutorial then. But then the week after that, I think it's like New Year's Day or something like that. I don't remember. And I think I will plan on doing a tutorial then. And by the way, I am currently planning an art challenge that will be starting in January, and I'm really excited about it. It'll be a bird art challenge, and it'll be a lot like my butterfly challenge where I will be doing tutorials for each prompt. So that's something to look forward to. Okay, and then, yeah, over here, like right under his eye is very light, and then it becomes like a light brown. I recently, well, yesterday I finished a pet portrait commission, and it was 7 dogs on one painting, and the dogs were like kind of small, and it was pretty difficult to paint. And then now that I'm painting Leo, and he's like pretty big, and I'm realizing that when painting animals, it just seems like it's easier to paint them a little larger than like really tiny, because I feel like he's a lot easier for me to paint than those dogs were. Okay, let's see. You guys are saying something Christmassy. Okay. Okay. I will think of something. Hannah says, ooh, birds, I need feather practice. Feathers are difficult, aren't they? All right. I'm now going to mix a color for his nose, and then around his nose here, it looks like he's kind of grayish. So I'm gonna mix those 2 colors. So his nose looks like it's kind of like an orangish brown. Okay, let's see. I think I will take some of this red here. It's very vibrant. Then I'm gonna take some of this Naples yellow deep. Mix that in. Oh my goodness. I don't know if this I don't know if this color is what we want. Okay, I'm gonna mix a little bit more of this pink into that. Okay, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of brown into it. Okay, we're getting closer. little bit more brown. All right, yeah, that looks okay. Okay, so let's start with that. Oh yeah, Liz, I like that idea. A lamb. I've never painted a lamb before. Okay, so let's just fill in his whole nose with this. And we do want it to be light. We don't want it to be too dark. We want this first layer on his nose to be light. So now I'm going to use this other brush, my blending brush. Just kind of blend this. Okay, yeah, I think that. Let his nose dry. In the meantime, let's mix a grayish brown. I'm just cleaning my brush. Okay, so I'm gonna take some Payne's Gray. And mix this into this brown on my palette. Maybe a little bit of brown in there. And a little bit of this Chinese white. Okay, and then I'm going to use or put the paint that's in this brush here over here. Okay, and mix kind of like a light brown. All right. Okay, let's see. So I have the light brown in my brush already, so let's just paint with that first. And it looks like he has some over here. And it kind of leads up like this. Okay, and then let's paint some of this right above his nose and then blend it up. As you can see, I'm not like doing a perfectly smooth blending. I don't want it to be like too smooth looking. I want him to look like he has fur. And I feel like if you make your blending look really smooth, there won't be like much texture going on. And so it won't look like fur very much. Okay, now I'm going to paint with this brown right here, right under his nostril, and then like kind of into his nostril. And then blend this out. And right here, his fur starts to become like very light, like kind of like a white color. Okay, now I'm going to take some of that grayish brown color we mixed and add that like right here above his nose. Then blend. And then some over here. Kind of blend this up a little bit. And then I'm going to add some of that gray in his nose. Although I probably will add a little bit of Payne's gray in there to darken it up. And then on his mouth, I'm going to paint in his cute little mouth. And then kind of blend out this a little bit, kind of make it fade out, and then I will repaint in his mouth again. Around this area, he's white, so I don't want to paint too much over here. Thanks, Des. She says, looks great. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to take a light brown let's see. Kind of like a creamy brown. Like the color we first started with when we started painting him. So I'm just kind of mixing this color again. Okay, let's see. I'm going to add some of this over here. Again, I'm trying to paint in the same direction. His fur is growing. Then I'm gonna kind of fade this out over here because he's like white right here. So are you guys more of a cat person or are you more of like a dog person? I'm more of a cat person. I love cats. I've always had cats, or at least one cat. I've never had a dog. I like dogs, but if I had to choose between a cat or a dog, I would choose a cat. Okay, let's see. This area is always like kind of challenging for me. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah says that she likes both cats and dogs. Ashton says, I would say I'm more of a dog person, but I also love cats. I would like to get a cat, but my husband is allergic to them. Aw, that sucks. Have you ever thought of getting a hairless cat? Okay, so this area on Leo, it's kind of like gray, like a little gray down here. But before we work on this area, I do want to kind of finish up his nose. So let's do that. I'm going to take that same color we used, but add a little bit of brown to it. And I'm going to start in this corner because it's pretty dark in this corner. And then I'm going to take this blending brush and blend. And then it's pretty dark right here. And then he has like a little line. Okay, I just added too much water in this area, so now it's all kind of just blending together. I'm gonna have to wait for this to dry and then add more paint. Hannah says, I love them both, but cats are way easier. They are. I feel like they would be way easier to take care of. Hi, Shannon. Thank you. She says, this is amazing. After Christmas, would you like to paint both of my Quaker parrots? One is green and the other blue. Oh my gosh, I would love that. I would love that. That would be amazing. Yeah, just, I think we were emailing anyway, so just send me an email about it. Okay. Right, so we're waiting for his nose to dry. So I guess I should clean my brush and work more. Oh gosh, this is going to be a long tutorial. Let's now work on his like mouth and chin. So I'm going to use my larger brush, my size 4 brush here, and I'm just grabbing some of a light gray brown color. I'm just going to start making brush strokes along the bottom of his chin here. Okay, and then I'm going to use this other brush to kind of blend this. Okay. I feel like this part is kind of challenging. Like, yeah, it's challenging. I'm gonna add some more to his mouth. And kind of like blend this. And his mouth kind of curves up a little bit. Cats like have this really cute smile. Okay, kind of, all right. Let's fix that. And I'm gonna add some gray, like right around his nose here. And kind of in this area a little bit, here and there. Just kind of scrubbing my brush around, creating texture. Okay, since I have some gray in my brush, I'm going to add some over here. Me too, Shannon. Hi, Athena Creates. That's okay. Joy says, I see why you start with the eyes. It really shows the subject's personality. You have a very keen eye. I am very impressed that you hadn't painted a cat before. Thank you, Joyce. Yeah, eyes are super important for animals. So I always start with the eyes because when I first start a painting, I have the most energy. And I feel like you should first focus on the thing that is the most important in the painting. At least that's how I like to work. Okay. All right, and then down here, under his chin, it starts to kind of be more brown. But since his nose is dry now, let's go ahead and finish up his nose, and then we'll work down here, and then we'll work more on his ears, and then around his eyes. So let's see. I'm going to take more of that color we were using for his nose and add even more over here. And then I'm just going to add some in the middle. I might have to go back in and paint in that little line that's on his nose when this dries. And then in this corner of his nose. And I'm kind of leaving like over here a little light, so because it looks like he has like a little tiny highlight, like a little bit of a highlight here. Okay, so we'll let that dry, and then we'll go back in and paint in that line here, and then maybe even add a little bit more dark shadow. Okay, now I'm going to take some Payne's Gray and paint in, but be sure this area that we just painted, be sure that it's dry. My area is probably not that dry. Let's see. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to take this other brush, the very tip, blend this out. And then he's like, he has a little darkness right there too. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here. There's a Leo hair on my paper. Oh my goodness. Okay. Athena says, I hope I can paint like that too. I'm so bad at figures and features. Yeah, you should see my very first watercolor paintings. They were not good, guys. It just takes lots of practice. Hannah says, I'm working on my annual workers' compensation audit for my husband's business. Oh, fun. That sounds so fun, Hannah. And she says, while I watch you, you are giving me something to look forward to later. Leo is looking great. Thank you. Okay, all right. I'm cleaning my brush. Getting a sip of water. Okay. Next, let's work down here a little bit. And down here, I don't want to have too much going on. I kind of want it to just like fade into my paper. I don't want too much detail, so I'm going to use my large size 8 round brush here. And I'm going to grab some of this light, it's kind of like a light cream brown color. I'm just going to kind of add this in over here loosely. Okay. Now I'm cleaning this brush, the same brush, and then with some water, I'm going to kind of blend. And I do know that later on I want to paint some flowers, like flowers around him and stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to leave a lot of this unpainted. Oh, I'm gonna erase some of this pencil. I hope I can still erase it. I might have to get one of those magic erasers because you can still kind of see some of my pencil mark under here. But, okay. Now, let's work, let's finish his nose already. Okay, so I'm going to take that same color we've been painting with his nose, and I'm going to mix a little bit of brown in it. Okay, and then I'm going to take this other brush here with a little bit of water and kind of blend. Okay, and then add some more of this brown like under here. And then kind of like in the corners again. Okay. By the way, if you don't know, my monthly membership, Nature with Watercolor, will be opening soon for my waitlist. So if you want to join the waitlist and like learn more about it and be notified when it opens, the link is below. And also, you will get a special discount when it opens, just for being on the wait list. So yeah, that's exciting. Okay, yeah, I'm just kind of adding some of this darker shade around his nostrils here. Okay, I think I'm done with his nose. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Let's work more on his ears, and then we'll work more around his eyes. Let's see. Hannah says, the first and only painting I did of Max, he kept bothering me the whole time, as if he knew. um, she says, I kept finding his hair on it as I painted. After it dried, I saw one I missed and dried into the painting. Yeah, that is so funny. I think that just makes it special, right? You have some of his hair in your painting. Joy says, oh, I can't wait to see the finished piece. Me too. I'm so excited. Hannah says, my Max watches bumblebees a lot. If I paint him again, I think I need to add a bumblebee. I think you should definitely do that. Okay, his ears need a lot of work, so let's go ahead and do that. We need to mix some colors. So let me show you my palette. Okay, so it looks like his ears have some purple and pink, but mostly it's like gray, like a grayish purple and pink. So I don't even know what this color is that I've been using. It's called Quinacridone Red from Winsor & Newton. So I'm basically just taking red here. It's more like a reddish pink. And then I'll just go ahead and add it where I mixed the color for his nose. Okay, and yeah, we don't want it to be too pink at all. So I'm going to mix some of this Winsor, it's called Chinese White from Winsor & Newton. Mix that in. I use this a lot, this Chinese White. It's really nice to make like light colors, like pastel-y light colors. I love it. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit of Payne's Gray into this. Okay, yeah, that's kind of the color we want, like a grayish pink. Then I'm going to, beside it, mix kind of the same shade or like the same, like somewhat similar, but more purple. So basically, more pink and more Payne's Gray, because Payne's Gray has a blue tint to it. And okay, yeah, I think that's good. So now with my size 4 brush, with the purple shade, I'm going to start out with, and it's more kind of like in the inner part of his ear. So, and keep in mind that he has a lot of white hair in his ear. So you want to kind of paint in the white hair as we paint in the inner part of his ear. So as I am painting with this, I'm kind of also painting the white hair. And then I'm going to let this kind of fade out. Take some of that pink, add a little bit of that in, kind of blend it into the purple. And then he has kind of like a crease in his ear right here. Okay, then I'm gonna add some pink on this side, just a little bit. I just cleaned this brush and I added a little bit of clean water to it. And then I'm just going to blend it. This part is a little tricky. Okay. I'll let that dry. In the meantime, let's work on this ear. So again, I'm going to start with that purple shade. Kind of start in the middle of his ear so I can like kind of paint in the lighter hair, like around the lighter hair. Blend. Add a little bit of the pink. I'm grabbing some more pink here and painting it in over here. It looks like he has a lot of pink right here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll let this dry. How are you guys doing? How's it going? Let me know in the chat. Okay. Okay. We are getting to almost 2 hours in. Already. It's crazy. I'm going to take that purple shade and now I'm going to paint in like this crease in his ear. And it kind of fades. And then I'm going to take some of that pink. And he has like a little crease right here. Like this. Man, this is probably one of the most challenging parts of painting cats. It's like their ear. Okay. And on his other ear, let's paint in the crease. So it's like this, and it kind of fades. has some shadow here, and then that crease in his ear. Okay. All right, so he's mostly all painted in. To be honest, I can spend hours and hours more on this. So I think I'll add a bit more detail to him and then be done for this tutorial, but then later on add some more detail on my own. Okay, I think I'll go ahead and maybe paint in the side of his ear. So I'm going to take some brown. Because he has like a dark like shadow like right here. I just cleaned this brush and now I'm kind of like blending this a little bit into the rest of his ear. Okay, I'm going to take that same brown and add some over here. And then I'm going to blend this. Again, I'm not like doing a perfectly smooth blending. As I blend, I'm trying to also like paint in fur. Kind of scrubbing my brush around. I'm going to add some more of that brown up here. And then he has some more like some brown here, so I'm kind of painting in some fur. And then here. And then I'll go over that area just very lightly and just kind of soften that up a little bit. Let's see. Hannah says, does Leo go outside at all? Max is in and out all day. He comes to the window sills of wherever I am in the house and peeks at me to get me to let him in. Strange how he knows which window to go to. Leo, yeah, we don't really allow Leo outside. He does sometimes like run outside when we open the door when he's not allowed to do that. Yeah, he's mostly an indoor cat. Yeah, so now I'm just kind of adding some fur detail to him. And then I do need to darken around his eyes, and I need to add some more dark brown over here. Okay, I'm gonna add some more. Okay, and then I'm gonna add here's like a line, a stripe right here. Oh my gosh, yeah. I wish I had like more time with you guys so I can finish him. I guess that's the great thing about my membership is that I'm able to like actually finish the whole entire painting with you guys. Whereas these live tutorials I only have so long. Okay, I'm gonna add some more brown over here. So what are your plans this weekend? Jimmy and I are celebrating our 6th year anniversary, wedding anniversary. We got married on December 13th, 2014. We don't really have like anything crazy like planned. Because you know, you can't really go out for dinner. I mean, you can, but we're just gonna stay in. I think I might get some sushi, maybe like pick up some sushi somewhere. Yeah, so I'm just like, you know, adding more and more color, more and more depth to him, more detail. And I can do this like I can do this for hours and hours. I'm trying to get as much done as I can in the next like 5 minutes for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna add some more brown up here. And under his eyes, they are like, it is a little darker, like here. So I'm gonna darken this up. And kind of blend this, because it does become a little lighter right here on his eye. And then, me too, Hannah. Me too. It was really fun to plan a December wedding and to get married in December. I can't believe how fast these tutorials go by. It's like, man, I need more time than this. Yeah, his eyes definitely need more, like, more depth. I'm adding a little bit of fur around his eyes too. Okay. Yeah, so now I'm just kind of deepening the dark areas around his eye. Like trying to get the values right. I really want his eyes to pop. Like I want his eyes to be the focal point. Okay, I kind of painted onto his iris there. I'm going to take this brush over here that I have with some water and kind of fade that out a little bit. There's a shadow there anyways that I need to paint in. Okay, now I'm going to darken the inner corner of his eye. So I mixed some Payne's Gray into my brown. I'm gonna put that in. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here, even though in the reference it's not as dark. I want to make him look balanced. And then with the same color, I'm going to outline here. And on the bottom, but not all the way. It just looks like he has dark shadow like in the corner, and then it kind of lightens up. And then yeah, around the iris, there's a shadow like on the outer edge. So now I'm kind of like fading this shadow into his iris a little bit. Okay, sorry guys. I realized this whole time my phone was not plugged in, so now my battery's dying, so I have to plug in my phone. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. If you're still here, say hi in the chat. Who is still here? Joyce is still here. Hi, Joyce. Oh wow, a lot of you are still here. Fallon's here, Ashton's here. Liz, Sarah. Okay. I'm almost done with this tutorial. Not the painting. I feel like I'll be spending some more time on him. But yeah. I need to add some more shadow, like up here. Okay. Now I'm going to work a little bit more on this eye. Hi. Hi, Charming. Charming. Yeah, so with pet portraits, I usually spend the most time, I feel like, on their eyes. Or like their eyes, but also the area around their eyes. I feel like I spend the most time. Hi, White Iris Archive. Oh, okay. Your name is Dory. Okay, Dory. Good to know. Okay, and then I'm gonna add there. We're getting there. I'm gonna add some more shadow like up here. Okay. Thank you, Amber. She says, looks lovely. I love his eyes. Thank you. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to finish up a few last things. So I'm going to take some brown here, Gothite from Daniel Smith, and add some more like detail around this area. I've added a little too much. Okay. I'm going to work a little bit more on his mouth. So as you can see, I'm not like painting a straight line like this. I'm just kind of painting in some little lines. Then kind of running this brush over a little bit to soften that up. Okay. Right, now, yeah, I'm gonna add a bit more shadow under his nose. Okay, now let's add some little specks where his whiskers are. And I like to run over them a little bit, make them not stand out so much. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dory. Okay. His whiskers are white. So the question is how to paint white whiskers? That's a good question. I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to paint his whiskers in like a very light gray, just so they stand out a little bit. So to mix gray, I'm just going to mix some of this Chinese white into Payne's gray. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's just, yeah. And with whiskers, it's a lot like painting a butterfly antenna or the veins of butterflies, which I painted a lot, so that's kind of why I'm comparing it to that. You don't want too much water, because if you have too much water, your line won't be thin. So that's why I kind of like to use this white here instead of adding a lot of water. To make a light color, I can add this white and not have to use as much water. And now I'm going to use like the very tip of my brush. And I'm just going to paint in a few of his whiskers, not all of them. And let's start with there's like one here about. And yeah, I don't really want his whiskers to stand out too much, so it's okay if you can barely see them. And then he has like a whisker like here. And I'm really trying to go in the direction where that I see his whiskers grow. Like I don't want some to point down and some to point this way. It won't look realistic. Then you have some like little ones. Hi, Shelly. She says, I love this. Such talent. Thank you for sharing your process with us. You're welcome. Thank you. This is kind of stressful, so I'm not really talking. Okay, now I'm going to add some little ones. Okay, if you don't like a whisker, here's what you do. You take a brush with a little bit of water and you just kind of like blend it in. Okay. All right. Joy says, thank you for this tutorial. I learned a lot. Good. So glad. And she says, so far looks beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, okay, guys. I can spend hours more on this. So I think this is pretty good for a tutorial. Yeah. So I will be finishing him up. I don't know when, but maybe I hope sometime this month. And so if you want to stay updated on like the final painting, like what it'll look like, I will share about it in my vlogs. So yeah, I'll give you a close-up. Yeah, I hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Hi. Yeah, so thank you so much. I'm very happy with how he turned out. Like, I love him. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of it. And I'm not even done yet, so yeah, okay. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Take care. And thank you, Sarah and Joyce. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. On Tuesday, I have a new video coming out, and it's like a giant video all about making art prints. So it's basically a video where I combine all of my art print videos I've been making into one video. So that will be coming out on Tuesday. And then next Friday, we have another tutorial in 1 week. So maybe I'll see you then. Bye. Have a great weekend. Bye, Sarah, Liz, Fallon, Ashton, Joyce, Shelly, Dory, Amber, Liz. Bye, guys. Take care. Oh, and don't forget to use the hashtag AllisonLineArtTutorial on Instagram if you post anything you paint for my tutorials. I love to see it. Bye.